Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a quick moment to wish you all a happy new year and to wish that your 2021 is better than your 2020 and to give you a quick channel update. So those of you who are subscribed to the channel, you've probably noticed there haven't been any videos posted in the last few weeks. The reason for that is because there's a strong correlation between viewership on the channel and the school year being in session. So during the holidays, viewership plummets. So why post videos if no one's going to watch them? So as we get later into January of the new year, we will start posting videos again. In the meantime, I've been working on my first standalone game. Now, I've made lots of Unity projects and I've distributed those as projects, but to actually distribute a game, I hadn't done that up to yet. It will, of course, just be a budget game. So it will be probably a single digit price tag. So like $8, $9 USD, nothing more than that. And let's just take a look to see what we've done so far. So basically this combines functionality of two Unity projects I've already posted on itch.io. That is the Witch Defense, where you defend your city, your town, village, whatever, against waves of attacking enemies. And then I combine that with Castle Attack, is when you then take the attack to the enemy, take the battle to the enemy, and you attack their castle, and you have to destroy the power source within the castle. And then rinse and repeat that 7, 8 times, and that gives you, I think, a sufficient amount of content. So we now have a proper start screen that functions. I've made a few changes. There are now 2 attacks, and I've moved it to the mouse rather than keyboard, so you still strafe left and right using A and D. And left is the fireball, and then right is the ground-based attack. Now, the reason for this is when fully implemented, you'll need to use certain attacks against certain enemies. Like, see the bat how he's flying? You would have to shoot him with the fireball, that you can't shoot him with the ground attack. Likewise, there'll be some ghosts as well that also float, and you have to use the fireball against them. Conversely, there will be enemies such as the Lizardmen, so let's jump over to that scene. The Lizardmen, if you try shooting them with the fireball, they will defend, and you have to hit them with the ground attack. So the idea is I don't want people just to be able to spam left and right. See how he defends? So you have to hit him with the ground attack. So basically it creates a little bit more in-depth gameplay. It's still very basic, but it's not meant to be a AAA game, just a simple gameplay loop. And then what happens is after the wave lasts like 3-4 minutes, and then there's a boss enemy, and then you then, as I say, counterattack, and you go after one of their castles. So let's look at one of those. And in this case, rather than just strafing left and right, you circle strafe now, which in itself isn't a big difference. And in some ways, it's kind of like a block breaker game, because the castle is indeed made out of individual blocks. And inside the castle, there is a crystal, and if you destroy the crystal, then that is the win condition. So let's just see if we can get that done, and then that'll about wrap it up. As far as the different castles, it's easy to make the castles look different. You can add little towers, little ornaments, and probably most importantly, different defenses. So these 2 mages up there, they target you, but once they shoot, the fireball no longer targets. So they shoot at you, but the fireball is not homing. So what you could do as a variant for one of the more difficult defenses is the fireball would home after you. Perhaps they also do like an area effect, so maybe when the fireball hits the ground sets on fire, and then you have to avoid moving there for a few seconds. Also, maybe rather than firing one fireball, they could fire like a spread of 3 fireballs, that kind of thing. So basically, each castle would want to have a slightly different defense, so it's not the same thing. You know, always trying to increase the difficulty and increase the variety, what I always say about the progression of gameplay. And then you'll see that once you hit the crystal that the castle will detonate. Basically, all remaining blocks turn into dust. And there we go. And then once you do that, it'll bring you to the next level. I think I coded it to do that. Um, Okay, looks like it's not coded to do that quite yet, but it'll bring you back to one of the next levels. So I think the last thing I want to mention about this is the fact that all the characters and their animations were not done by me. In fact, they were done by someone who didn't even know how these were going to be used. It's these folks here, Downrain DC. Basically, on the Unity store, they have these various projects and packages of animated enemies. So they did the modeling, they did the animation, and then it's up to the designer to make those animations work in their project. So, for instance, there's a walk animation. Well, it's easy enough to put that enemy on top of solid ground and then add velocity. So now you're combining a walk animation with velocity, and voila, they're walking. Likewise, adding the defense animation that when the fireball hits them, it triggers the defense animation. And actually, that's really easy coding. As you can see right here, you just do get component animator and then what animation you want to play. In this case, this is when they're being hit by an attack that does damage to them, and it plays the die animation. So I think that's about it. So I'm not quite sure when I'm going to release this. Again, it will just be a budget game, and maybe by the end of January. That way I wrap this up just in time to get back to doing the tutorials for the channel. And I think that should do it. So again, I hope you have a happy new year and please enjoy your 2021.